Hello to everybody. My name is Paolo Sommaggio, and I teach at the University of Padua. Thank you very much to the organization, and thank you very much to the ELPIS network for your kindness. I appreciate very much. The title of my intervention is Venice as a Common. It is not new that Venice, often referred to as a floating city, stands as a testament to human ingenuity, cultural richness, and architectural beauty. With its intricate network of canals, stunning places, and historic landmarks, Venice has captured the imagination of millions worldwide. Following the fragmentation of the Roman Empire of the West, many Venetians moved from the mainland into new settlements in the lagoon. So the Venetians constructed a republic, not because they assembled and debated what kind of state they wanted, solemnly writing down their decision, but by simply continuing to do what they had always done. Venice appeared in the 8th or 9th century, long before postmodern ideas of statecraft or commonwealth. It was a political and juridical community devoted to the common good. However, this unique city faces a myriad of challenges, ranging from over-tourism and environmental degradation to the impacts of climate change and the erosion of its traditional way of life. I think that considering these challenges, the concept of Venice as a common emerges as a compelling framework for addressing the city's complex issues while preserving its cultural and environmental heritage. However, beneath its timeless beauties lies a city grappling with a multitude of contemporary challenges that threaten its sustainability and resilience. In this context, the concept of Venice as a common, I think, offers a compelling framework for addressing these challenges while preserving the city's unique identity and heritage. I think it's very important that an image of common good, you can find it in the representation of the common good in Palazzo dei Camerlenghi in Venice. It is a bold baby with a cornucopia in its right hand. Venice and its lagoon was inscribed on the World Heritage List in 1987 because of the uniqueness and singularity of its cultural values, consisting of exceptional historical, archaeological, urban, architectural, artistic heritage, and cultural traditions integrated into an extraordinary environmental, natural, and landscape context. This is because Venice and the Venetian lagoon are one of the oldest and most complex examples of the relationship between human activities and natural dynamics, where the greatest number of cultural assets and artistic expressions stratified over the centuries can be found. The Venetian lagoon is a unique and delicate environment, home to a rich biodiversity of flora and fauna. Preserving the health and resilience of this shared natural treasure is crucial for the city's long-term sustainability. I think that the number of local common goods or common pool resources, as Elinor Ostrom, Nobel laureate in economics in 2009, called them, that have global value is gradually increasing around the world. Examples of local commons with global value are not unique ecosystems, but also historic monuments and cities of art. Venice, I think, and its lagoon are emblematic and special examples of local commons with global value. So let's start with the problems of Venice, and then we will try to apply the common pool resources theory. Venice grapples with a range of interconnected challenges that threaten its sustainability and resilience. First of all, over-tourism. Venice, allure as a tourist mass destination, has led to an influx of a huge amount of visitors each year, overwhelming its infrastructure, degrading its environment, and disrupting the lives of its residents. The city's narrow streets and delicate historic buildings struggle to accommodate the sheer volume of tourists, resulting in overcrowding, pollution, and strain on local resources. Number two, environmental degradation. Venice's unique geography makes it particularly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change, including rising sea levels, acqua alta, high water events, and erosion. These threats jeopardize the city's architectural treasures, cultural landmarks, and overall livability, prompting urgent action to mitigate the effects and safeguard Venice's future. Number three, cultural erosion. Globalization, commercialization, and mass tourism have contributed to the erosion of Venice's traditional crafts, local identity, and sense of community. The commodification of its cultural heritage diminishes the authenticity of the Venetian experience, displacing residents and undermining the city's social fabric. Number four, economic inequity. Disparities in wealth and income exacerbate social tensions within Venice, driving locals out of the city center in search of affordable housing and employment opportunities. The dominance of tourist-driven economies further exacerbates economic inequality, perpetuating a cycle of gentrification and marginalization of residents. The concept of Venice as a common implies that the city's tangible and intangible resources may be considered collective assets belonging to the community rather than being owned by individuals or private entities. This perspective acknowledges that Venice's cultural heritage, natural environment, and social fabric are shared by residents, visitors, and stakeholders, and therefore require collective stewardship and responsibility. This new type of common pool resource may be a type of resource that is collectively owned and managed by a group of people rather than being owned privately or controlled exclusively by the state. Common pool resources are characterized by two key features. First one, non-excludability. It is difficult to prevent individuals from accessing or using the resource. Unlike private goods, which can be restricted to specific individuals through ownership or property rights, common pool resources are typically open access, meaning that anyone can use them without facing significant barriers. Number two, rivalry in consumption. The use of a resource by one individual reduces its availability for others. While common pool resources are accessible to all members of the community, their use is rivalrous, meaning that consumption by one user can diminish the quantity or quality of the resource available to others. The basis of CPR theory is the essay The Tragedy of Commons, written by 1968 by ecologist Garrett Harding. This theory posits that common resources are prone to overexploitation and degradation due to individuals acting in their self-interest. According to this theory, individuals have an incentive to maximize their use of common resources, leading to their depletion and degradation over time unless they are managed through regulation or privatization. The common pool resource theory challenges the tragedy of the commons by demonstrating that communities are capable of effectively managing common resource through collective action and self-governance. Here is some concerns about common pool resources theory. And obviously, you can see the old lady is Elinor Ostrom. The CPR theory outlines several key principles and conditions that contribute to successful common management. First one, clearly defined boundaries. Clearly define the boundaries of the resource and the community that shares. It helps establish a sense of ownership and responsibility among users. But other people thought that this first element is to have clear rules about the way in which they can use the resource. Second one, proportionality. Proportional equivalence between costs and benefits in the using of the resource. Number 3, collective choice arrangement. Allowing users to participate in the design and adaptation of management institutions and rules fosters a sense of ownership and enhances the legitimacy of collective management arrangements. So it needs a decision-making process, and it has to be a collective decision-making process. Number 4, monitoring and enforcement. Establishing mechanisms for monitoring resource use and enforcing rules and agreements helps deter free riding and ensure compliance with the collective management arrangement. Who are the free riders? A free rider is someone who uses the resource without any cure or without any possibility to share or to follow the development of the resource. So it's quite like a thief. Number 5, graduate sanctions. Implementing a system of graduated sanctions for rule violations, such as warnings or fines, helps deter behavior that undermines the sustainability of the resource. Number 6, conflict resolution mechanism. Providing mechanism for resolving conflicts and disputes among users helps maintain social cohesion and cooperation within a community. 7.1, the right to organize. Minimal recognition of rights to organize inside the community or outside the community. Number 8, nested enterprises. Linking local level management institutions with higher level governance structures, facilities, coordination and cooperation across different scale of governance. By adhering to this principle and conditions, community can develop effective governance system that promote the sustainable management of common pool resources. Ostrom's work demonstrated that successful commons management is possible when communities have the autonomy and capacity to develop context-specific rules and institutions tailored to their unique social, cultural, and environmental contexts. Now, I want to take a look to principles and practices that we can use if we think about the Venice as a common pool resource. In practical terms, Viewing Venice as a common entails reorganizing and recognizing the interconnectedness of its various elements and promoting collaborative approaches to their management and preservation. This may involve community participation in decision-making process, sustainable uses of resources, equitable distribution of benefits, and fostering a sense of ownership and pride among residents, safeguarding Venice's unique identity and heritage. Embracing the concept of Venice as a common requires a holistic approach, an ecology that integrates environmental, cultural, social, and economic considerations. Key principles and practices will include: first, community participation. Engaging residents, artisans, and stakeholders in decision-making processes fosters a sense of ownership and empowerment, ensuring that their voices are heard and their needs addressed. The city's narrow streets and delicate historic buildings struggle to accommodate a sheer volume of tourists, resulting in overcrowding, pollution, and strain on local resources, as we said before. Participatory approaches to urban planning, heritage conservation, and economic development prioritize the well-being of Venice residents while promoting social cohesion and civic pride. Number 2, sustainable tourism. Balancing the needs of visitors and residents, sustainable tourism practices aim to mitigate the negative impacts of over-tourism while enhancing the quality of the visitor experience. Measures such as visitor management strategies, cultural preservation initiatives, and environmental stewardship programs promote responsible travel and foster a deeper appreciation for Venice's cultural and natural heritage. Implementing measures to regulate tourism, manage visitor flows, and promote responsible travel helps mitigate the negative impact of over-tourism while preserving Venice's cultural and environmental integrity. Number 3, cultural preservation. Safeguarding Venice's cultural heritage through initiatives such as heritage conservation, artisanal revival, and cultural education helps maintain the city's unique identity and sense of place. Safeguarding Venice's cultural heritage by promoting traditional crafts, preserving historic buildings and monuments, and supporting cultural initiatives that celebrate Venetian identity and traditions encourage residents and visitors to respect and appreciate Venice's unique cultural heritage. Number 4, adaptive management or environmental stewardship. Recognizing the interconnectedness of Venice's ecosystem, environmental stewardship initiatives focus on protecting its fragile lagoon, reducing pollution, and adapting to the impacts of climate change. Wetland restoration projects, sustainable transportation alternatives, and green infrastructure investments enhance Venice's resilience to environmental threats while preserving its natural beauty and biodiversity. Adopting adaptive management strategies such as the preservation of traditional building techniques, the restoration of wetlands, and the promotion of sustainable agriculture enhances Venice's resilience to environmental change. Implement measures to protect Venice's fragile ecosystem, including initiatives to reduce pollution, manage water levels, and mitigate the impacts of climate change, promote sustainable practices and technologies that minimize environmental degradation and enhance the resilience of Venice's natural environment. Number 5, economic diversification. Promoting alternative livelihoods such as creative and industries, green entrepreneurship, and local craftsmanship reduces dependence on tourism and fosters economic diversity and resilience. Invest in infrastructure improvements and that enhance the livability and resilience of Venice, such as flood protection systems, public transportation networks, and sustainable urban development projects. Prioritize investments that benefit residents and contribute to the long-term sustainability of the city. Number 6, collaborative governance and global solidarity. Foster collaboration and cooperating among various stakeholders, including residents, local businesses, government agencies, cultural institutions, and environment organizations. We have to facilitate partnership and joint initiatives to address common challenges and achieve shared goals. Obviously, we have to establish and enforce regulations and policies supporting sustainable management of Venice's resources, develop zoning ordinances, conservation plans, and heritage protection measures to safeguard Venice's cultural and environmental assets for future generations. And obviously, number 3, global solidarity. Foster international cooperation and solidarity to address global challenges that impact Venice, such as climate change, level sea rise, and cultural heritage preservation. Engage with international organization networks and partnerships to share knowledge, resources, and best practices for sustainable development. And obviously, number 7, we have to think about education and awareness. Raise awareness about the importance of Venice as a common pool resource and the need for collective stewardship and responsible behavior. We have to provide educational programs, workshops, and informational materials to residents, visitors, and businesses to promote a culture of sustainability and environmental responsibility. We have to develop a research and innovation. We have to support research and innovation initiatives that contribute to the understanding and management of Venice as a common pool resource. Invest in scientific research, technological solutions, and interdisciplinary collaborations to address emerging challenges and opportunities facing the city. Conclusion: reclaiming Venice's future. Venice's journey towards sustainability and resilience is a collective endeavor that requires the collaboration and commitment of residents, visitors, policymakers, and stakeholders. By embracing the principle of the common and fostering a culture of cooperation, innovation, and collective stewardship, Venice can navigate its challenges while preserving its unique identity and heritage. In doing so, Venice can reclaim its status as a vibrant, livable city, one that honors its past, celebrates its present, and embraces its future with optimism and resilience. As a beacon of hope, of heritage conservation and sustainable development, Venice inspires us to envision a world where cities thrive in harmony with nature and community, embodying the timeless spirit of the common for generations to come. Through collaboration, innovation, and a shared commitment to preservation, Venice can continue to inspire and enchant generations to come, serving as a beacon of hope. The city of Venice tried to follow the community direction in managing this heritage. We must remember, for example, that the statute of the Municipality of Venice in 2013 introduced a regulation of the institutions of participation, ruling some institutes of democratic participation like protocols for public instances, petitions and resolutions, participatory inquiring, municipal and abrogative referendums. In recent years, the city municipality of Venice has also started a discussion on a regulation on collaboration between citizens and the administration for the care, shared management, and regeneration of urban commons in the city of Venice. Fingers trust. Everyone knows that Venice was called the Serenissima, the most serene. I'd like to think that it's because the Republic has a clear image of the common good, the famous Bolt baby, do you remember? With a cornucopia in Camerlengi, the facade of Camerlengi Palace. And guess why it was Bolt? I'd like to think that this is because no one could pull its hair, forcing the baby to join their pot. Thank you for your very kind attention.